Welcome back to Bostin British Fittle, where Maggie and I aim to bring you as many varieties of different British foods as we possibly can. Today we're doing a very British, vegan, vegetarian and possibly gluten-free dinner. We are doing savoury nut burgers. These burgers are a combination of chopped nuts, onion, parsley, soy sauce, puree, and breadcrumbs. So health foods aren't a fad that can really be found in any country. Each culture over time ate vegetables over meat and came up with different recipes. But when looking for something specifically for health benefits, the Victorians started off with the idea of using nuts. So it is, though this recipe isn't really can be attributed to anything British, but the idea of using nuts as an alternative to meat first came from the Victorian era. For this recipe, you're going to need 6 ounce or 170 grams of breadcrumbs, 8 ounce or 225 grams of chopped mixed nuts, 1 large chopped onion, 150 millilitres or 1/4 of a pint of milk, 1 ounce or 25 grams of butter or margarine, 1/2 ounce or 15 grams of plain flour, 1 egg beaten, 1 tablespoon of chopped fresh parsley, 1 tablespoon of tomato puree, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and some ground pepper. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get a nice heat on. We're going to place in our butter and let that melt nicely. Now, as you've seen for some of the ingredients, I've used flour. Obviously, if you want a more gluten-free, you can use soda bread for the breadcrumbs and gluten-free flour for the bread. Sometimes rice flour is a good alternative to use for this. Obviously, with things like the butter, if you wanted it a more vegan diet, you can use plant-based margarine for this. So there are different recipe options you can use to get the desired effect. Right, now that's melting nicely. We are going to add the onion. Get all that in. There we go. It goes in, that is. And the chopped parsley. And what we're going to do is I'm going to mix this round until it is browned nicely, and then we will get on to the next stage. Okay, it's only been a few minutes. The onion has softened nicely, so now we're going to add the flour. Put that over. All of that. Want the flour to burn, so let's get it off the ends. And this should, with the butter, start to thicken nicely. There we go. Now, in a bit, I will add the milk. And again, if you wanted a more vegan or alternative, you can use acorn flour or soy milk. Sorry, acorn milk or soy milk. Although acorn flour is a good possibility that you could use as well. They're all easy enough to find in a big old supermarket. Look at that, that's looking beautiful. So let me check what's next. I'm just going to take that off the heat. We're going to gently add the milk. There we go. We'll wait for this to cool a little because we don't want to burn the milk. That's why we've taken it off the heat. There we go. Still boiling a little, but we want it to mix well without burning. There we go, it's starting to calm down a bit. Give it a good mix. It's becoming more of a sauce now. Excellent. That's what we want. Now we can return it to the heat. The milk's all been soaked up, so brilliant. Right. Okay. Hear the heat on it. So we're going to let that simmer just for a minute or two, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, it's only been about 30 seconds and it's heating up nicely. So now we literally add everything else. So in go the nuts, in go the breadcrumbs. Oh, that went in a bit too much. Let's mix that round first. You have to really mix it well. You can see it's getting a bit dry, but we've got a good mix going there. So we're going to add our soy sauce, which doesn't want to go out. It's a bit thick, this sauce. That's okay. There we go. Let's get that mixed well. Oops. That was done on purpose, that was meant to happen. The oven's supposed to have a little bit, it's good luck. No, I'm not making this up. Yeah. Okay, now we add our puree. Obviously you can add these any order you like. I'm just doing these in this order because they're to hand. There's a few of the breadcrumbs here I haven't quite mixed in. Now I am purposely leaving the egg till last because that's going to bind everything together. So before it binds together, I want to make sure I've really mixed everything well. Okay, we'll add some pepper. As you can see, everything here is happening quite quick. Okay. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little because it's happening so fast. Okay, look, it's crumbly, working well. Don't want it to burn, so I've got to keep stirring it, make sure it doesn't burn any part of it. Okay, now I think it's ready for the egg. Okay, let's mix that egg in well. That's way too long. In fact, I'm going to turn the heat off because I don't need any more heat now. Not from the top anyway. Because the next stage is grilling. But before we do that, we're going to need to mould these into pate type sizes. Looks like I'll maybe get 4 out of this, decent sized ones. So we are going to keep mixing it until I'm sure everything's mixed together. We are then going to leave it to cool, and then once it's cooled we will mould it and I'll put it on the grill, and that'll be the next stage. Okay, so with my mixture, to get them into the pate shape, I'm taking the mixture over to a cutter, or like pastry cutter or biscuit cutter, oops, and placing it in it. Then when I feel I've got enough for a level, say the bottom level here, it's enough covering there, hold it and push down, compact it together as tight as you can. This will help it keep its shape. As you can see, I've done that with these already. Here we go. Some more here. Oops. More there. Doesn't want to go in. Again, keep compacting it. You can have them obviously as thick as you like, but the purpose here really is push down nice and firm. If you don't push down firm enough, when I lift that, it's just going to fall apart. So this is the last of it. You see those pates look nice and thick. Now you can have these with things like cheese sauce, or if you've got some of the parsley left over, you can have some of that. I am going to have it on a couple of English muffins, almost like a burger muffin, and I'll put some parsley on that as well. I might put some grated cheese on top, depending on how I feel. Of course, you can use, don't have to use cheese, but there are vegan cheeses available and non-dairy cheeses that can be used. Okay, so here's the thing. I've pushed that down. Not happy with here. Let's give that another go. Remember, only do it. No need to rush. Do it once you're happy. If I slowly lift up, perfect. Now these will go under the grill. We'll grill them for about 10 minutes, then turn them all over, grill the other side for another 10 minutes, and they should be done. And we'll come back after that second grilling. Hi guys, before we go any further, please don't forget to follow, like and subscribe my YouTube channel to get updates on all the other British foods I'm going to try. And if you can think of any other British foods that I might like to try, go on to my Blue Sky account, bostinbritfittle.bluesky.social. And don't forget to also check out my Instagram page for all the British foods that I'll have tried, and you can see all the images on there. All right, thanks very much and enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so unlike me, when I turned a couple, they broke up, so please be careful when you're using them. But that is a savoury nut burger. Very crumbly one, it seems. Okay, so for my savoury nut burger, I've got it in a muffin with butter on the bottom of the on the bottom part of the muffin, and tomato sauce on the top. So this is going to be quite crumbly. Told you it was crumbly, it's just spilt everywhere. The nuts really come through. But it's the breadcrumbs that really give it a good sort of solid base. Crunching on some of the nuts. Tomato really helps add a nice bunch of flavour, and the parsley as well, definitely. Yeah. I feel how filling it's going to be. Nice added texture of the onions as well. But what does the pupper think? What does the pupper think? Okay, I'm going to try some of this nut burger with the pupper. Here we go. What do you think, Pops? Oh, she'll try it. She's up for that. There's no meat in it, but wow, she doesn't mind that at all. Very happy. Thank you, Pupper.